This episode is brought to you by the I Am a Five-Star Woman Retreat. Join us as women convene south of tropical Miami, Florida on October 6, 2018. In this one-day retreat from our surrounding worlds, ladies will congregate to enjoy all things Jamila Wellness, from uniting the women in the family with the Forever Brunch, to living our star lives, to building our resilience with Naturally Cinnamon. The attendees of these retreats will leave with tools to immediately apply to their lives. The menu, each section, and every activity have been delicately created to increase every aspect of wellness in women: mental wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, financial wellness, and yes, spiritual wellness too. Not only will you walk away with having developed each point of your star, you will be a 5-star woman. Register now at www.starshineconference.com and use promo code podcast to receive 10% off your ticket. Can't make it and want a live stream? There's an option for you too. www.starshineconference.com. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is that you're tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the Resilience Rising Podcast with me, Naturally Cinnamon. I am a therapist, life coach, resilience cultivator, and the founder and CEO of Jamila Wellness, LLC, where women go to be well and live beautifully. You can find us at resiliencerisinpodcast.com. You can also send in your questions, topics, comments, and feedback at resiliencerisinpodcast@gmail.com. Like this, love this, share it, rate it, comment, but most important, make sure that you're subscribed and following. Here's another episode. Hope you enjoy. Hopefully, you have already tuned in and enjoyed the first half of the episode about our dad last week. Today, we're going to conclude the episode, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as you did last week and as much as I did recording it with my brother, Jeremy Key of J Key Collective, who is also my creative director for this here podcast episode.
Yeah, it's right. It's all the way right. And he ain't no millionaire. He ain't never had nobody to just force, like, give him money when stuff was hard. And I can't get my shit to. You can get some things.
No, Dad was the one that, you know how you see those furniture commercial things where it says 0% APR for the first 12 months. He's the one that says, okay, we're going to go over to fill in the blank furniture store, and we're going to get this furniture set with 0 APR for 12 months, and we're going to pay it off in 10. And guess what would happen?
7 months later, he'd be like, oh, that's paid off. He'd be like, how? How? And I learned a lot about it from him, but I can't do it like he does.
Here's the other thing that both of them, him and Mom, have had a hard time accepting, but had to start accepting when they started helping us do stuff. Like they co-signed, he said, Dad co-signed on a car for you. Mom co-signed on my first car for me, and would have co-signed on this one, but when I was at the dealership and called them, they were out shopping. And I'm like, I need you to be home. So I didn't get that wonderful APR that I was going for. I got the next best of them. But anyway.
Thankful. Just want to put that out there. So thankful. He did not co-sign on the car before that, and they did.
But it's like that's when they started seeing what the costs of things were, what the APR was, and what was like, oh, get your own apartment. I'm bringing you home the brochures. This is what rent is now. It is because they were still back in 1972 when I got my first apartment. Yeah, you know what? I was talking to Dad the other day. No, earlier today. He got a student loan for his last two. He got a scholarship to Miami-Dade right out of high school, so they paid for his first 2 years of school. But his last 2 years to get it, to get his bachelor's, he took out a student loan. I think it was a total of like $2,000. It was something really minuscule. I don't know what it was. It was something really small. And he's like, yeah, I paid it off in 10 years. Well, yeah, because it was 3% interest, and you paid $30 a month.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how much my student loan still is?
Yeah, no.
10 years later.
No, and I'll say this every day for the rest of my life. Not having student loans, I don't. For everyone that has them, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Like,
I can tell you how
and I had this conversation with my best friend I was talking about before when he was talking about about a job situation because he's just the company he worked for just went under, and so he lost his job. Oh, thank you, Toys R Us. Fuck you guys, by the way. I'm sorry for cursing, but I mean that. I mean that. I really do. Like, that business plan was the worst.
It was.
The worst. You survived for the last 4 years off of hope, and I knew it. And I told him before he took the job, but anyway. But yeah, like, so he was talking about, I was like, but you gotta understand, dude, the same people who spent 4+ years on loans for 4+ years, out of state a lot of places, private a lot of places, are the same people going for the same jobs you are. You were reveling in your job because they paid you a certain amount, and it was a good amount. Like, yo, you should get that kind of money for being a manager at a store or an assistant manager at a store, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who are in this same job climate looking for the same job you are, owe $80, $90, $120,000.
Wow.
And are about to get paid the same thing you were.
Wow.
How? Bam. We're not going to talk about the job market. That's not what this show's about. But things are different. And yeah, my father has taken his time learning that. I ain't going to lie. He has taken his time learning that things are
still having a hard time.
Things are just different. And you can't just fix things the way you used to be able to, I guess. But I don't know, like, but it's also hard for me to talk to Dad because, like I said, we want different things. Like, he went to that job every day for his family. Where I differ for him hugely is, I don't want a family. I don't want kids. I don't want a wife. Not what I'm searching for. Nothing. I don't look at it as positively as he would. And so talking to him about everyday things goes back to the, hey, why do you do it? Like, why do I go to that job? For him, the reason was there. It was there. Like, he didn't have to question it. He had already determined what was important and why to do it. I'm still asking myself. And so I know you at one point got to the point, like you talked about it on your podcast, how you and Mom, you saw Mom as somebody who was a person before you were a person.
I got there. Yeah,
you got there.
Yeah.
I've known my parents were people before they were me since I was 7 or so. I accepted that. Like, they were wholly different people before I existed on this earth. What I don't think they understand is today we're wholly different people. The things they value, I don't value as much. I don't value the same. I'm not going to say I don't value as much. But some of the things that are staples in their lives aren't staples in mine, aren't as important to me, aren't as pertinent to my everyday existence, So, like, I don't talk to Mom about religion. I don't talk to Dad about money. Because for me, I struggle with what money is. I struggle with what it actually is. While he grew up in a time where you had to get money to establish yourself as anything.
Right.
He afforded me the chance to decide what money was. I didn't have to fight for survival. So I started fighting for who I was and what things meant to me. And so I got to think about things in a different way than he did. And so it's hard for me to talk to him about certain things because, like, he sees it his way, and I don't blame him, but I see it a different one.
But see, that's the reason I asked you to have this conversation about this on the podcast, because there are a lot of people, the same reason I decided to talk about the fact that people look at me and mama, see, like, we joke the umbilical cord is still attached. It's not still attached, it's reattached, because there was a point there, and I don't mean a 2-year period either, where it was like, oh, y'all related? Well, okay. We had to decide what kind of relationship we wanted, and then what was it going to take for us to get there. And there's times when we'll be on the phone and she'll still say to me, okay, I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want me to say this, but this is all I know what to say. And she knows I'm rolling every bit of my eye while she's talking, and she knows it, but she's still going to say it. And I'll just, it is what it is. She needs to say this right now. It's the same with our fathers. And also, I just feel like fathers get such a bad rap, like a short end of the stick. Like, so I wanted to, because I know you and Dad had that, like you said, the time where you just weren't talking to him at all, and likewise, he wasn't calling you either.
No,
so,
we didn't speak. That was just the relationship we had.
Right, and so to look at the evolution, I'll say, from then to now where it is, and like you said, it's not perfect, but it's different from where it was. I mean. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I was like, you know what, I would have rather have this conversation with Jeremy than with anybody else.
Well, I think a lot of that just deals with the way I look at people and things. I understand that people are influenced by the time, the people around them. I can't ask my dad to understand me now, because he never dealt with it now the way, like, he never lived his life path. In all the ways it's similar, also different, So yeah, he had to learn to be a man, but he had to learn to be a man with the values he had versus the man I am.
Right.
And so what it ends up being at this point is we talk about the things we have in common, the commonalities, the things we can. And we just don't talk about the rest. And some people would say, oh, that's unhealthy. But it is. That's the way we can be father and son in a good place. Like, I'd rather that than try to stress all the other stuff and ruin it. Like, I don't want to lose my father at this point. Like, this is going to sound terrible to say, I don't know how much long time I have with my father. I missed the time with my grandfather. I missed that already. Yeah. That's already gone, and that's the one thing I wish I could get back from everything else. Was to be able to talk to my grandparents more and understand more. I just didn't understand. Even when we were talking, I didn't understand. So I didn't understand. But I wish I could talk to my grandparents, because I can't talk to my mother and father about some of these things because I know where you're coming from, but it ain't me, yo. Like, like, I understand where you're coming from, but I see it differently. I see it differently. I feel it differently. I believe things are different in a way that you don't. And so we get to a point where we're starting a conversation, and I'll abruptly say, I don't talk about that. Because I don't talk about that. I don't want to start that up. I don't want to start up with a situation where we're going to be at odds with each other over something that just doesn't matter enough. And so, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not great. It's not the greatest relationship anybody's ever had with their father. It's not the relationship you and mom have. Like, it's just what it is. But it's the relationship we can have. Right. And to a certain extent, it got to finding out what relationship we could have. And, a lot of it is just growing up. Just growing up. Yeah. He was right about so many things I thought he was wrong about. But that's because he had experienced them already, and I didn't acknowledge that he had been there and done that. Right. But he hasn't been everywhere and done everything. No, that's true. He has had to come to grips with that to an extent. That, yes, you have been there and done that in your life. but my life isn't following the exact same path as your life, and I kind of chose that for myself. Some of it, is a situation, and he's it's happening. It's happening. It's not.
Well, I'll say this. You mentioned that, you've grown up into understanding some of the stuff he used to say, but at the same time, on his end, I think that he has had some growth himself in understanding that, okay, my son is his own man. And I think he knows that he doesn't understand a lot when it comes to you. But to me, knowing that, that's a big deal for him to get to the point to say, well, he has his opinions. Because at one point it was like, no, my opinion needs to be your opinion.
Well, I mean,
at least that's the way it felt.
A lot of the time we didn't speak, it simply was because I didn't think he saw me as a man. He saw me as a boy still. Like, I was not a boy anymore. Like, I had, though I may not have been, I wasn't old enough to have known a lot of everything or anything like that. I've never been ashamed to form my own opinions. I've never been afraid to state my own opinions in, direct opposite to what somebody else believed. Like, yo, no, I don't think that's right. And for my father, you're not about to tell him he's wrong. You're not about to tell him he's wrong in his house that he paid for. Like, he helped pay. No. You're not about to tell him he's wrong. So for a long time, it was it. Like, and I was also being very hard headed and feeling I had to tell him he was wrong when he was wrong, in my opinion. You don't always have to tell somebody they're wrong. You don't always have to explain to somebody that they're wrong every single time. Because you may not be right every single time. But anyway, like, so we went through that period where I just wanted to be seen as a man. I just wanted to be seen as my own independent force upon this earth. And I can understand how that's a struggle for a man with his son.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, like, how many millions of things come into play for black men and their sons? Like, go back to that Kendrick Lamar thing I was talking about earlier with the fear. A lot of people say, oh, why are you trying to put fear into your kids? Well, from their perspective, if I don't put the fear in you, these white folks going to kill you. So I got to make you fear me so that when you go out with certain things. Like, you do certain things, even out of fear of me, so that they don't get you, so you don't run across them. Like, as a black man in America, how do you tell your son to deal with the police if he doesn't understand fear? Because they are all about making you fear them. It ain't about respect. You don't have to fear a policeman for him to feel in an all right place to deal with you. If you don't show fear, an actual fear, deep down soul having fear for him, you're being disrespectful to him. So as a man who does not want your son out in the world dying for having an opinion or a smart mouth or, like me, a face that does not belie my emotions, you got to teach him how to have fear. You got to teach him that you're going to fear something. And even more than that, on another psychological level, as a black person in America, what's the one thing you can control? Your kids. Nothing else. Nothing else is in your control. They have stricken you of all your power except in your home. You're not going to have no little nigga you pay. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You're not going to have no little person, no little kid you pay for, you provide for, you do everything for. Tell you something? Get out of here. Get out of here, fam. I run this. I may not run anything else on this earth, but I run this. It took me years to become knowledgeable of all of the things that people have to deal with and how that impacts how they deal with people. But I still want to be seen as my own man, So we're in a space where I love that man violently in a vicious way. Like, you ain't gonna talk bad about my dad. Like, I've come to admire the man he is. Just for how strong he is and the things he's done. Is he my hero? I don't think anybody close to you can be your hero because you know their weaknesses.
Mm.
You see their faults too. I don't think they can be your hero.
Mm-hmm.
But I admire him. I admire certain things about him, and those things I see in myself. Yeah, I'm kind of happy he was around to teach me those things.
Mm-hmm.
I see some of his weaknesses, and some of those things I see in myself don't make me so happy as proud.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't give up anything to have anybody else ever. And you
Right.
couldn't. I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Time is all it is. Like I can't tell anybody how to have a relationship with their father because mine isn't to a point where it's like, yeah, this is the prototypical relationship most people
Mm-hmm.
have, and I can't tell anybody, how we got to it. One day I just decided not to be so hateful. Honestly, one day I decided like he's not gonna speak to me, but I'll speak. That's literally where it came. One day I decided I'll talk. It's not even gonna kill me to talk. Pretty much it, because he was not listening to my mother and I was not either. Where he was ready to not speak to me for the rest of his life, and I was ready to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it just came to a point like, all right, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the anger. It's not worth the hate. It's not worth this. No, we don't see eye to eye. We won't see eye to eye. He is 34 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
I am at the same age now that my father was when he had me.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see eye to eye.
Perspective.
Yeah, we're not going to see eye to eye, but doesn't mean I have to not love and respect him. Doesn't mean that we can't get to a place where we can speak about things in a manner of just being adults, yo. We don't have to be children about this. We don't have to be children about this. We can just be real. And if we get to a point where it's going to be something we, can't have a adult conversation about, don't have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's the best thing I ever got. The first thing I got.
First, funny thing is, I kind of figured that we would just kind of go, like you said, a couple times down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 3 questions. I only asked one.
That's the thing. I'll talk. If it's something worth talking about, I will talk all day. It's my favorite thing to do. It's just a lot of people ain't got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, well, then can't disagree there. So, question.
Yeah.
What is your fondest memory of Dad? I probably should have texted you these questions in advance to give you time to think about it. But hey, off the cuff, why not?
How it happens sometimes. My fondest memory, I would say, my fondest memory of that. I mean, probably like some T-ball or basketball thing or something like that.
I knew it. I knew you would say T-ball.
It's probably something from back there. Like, I don't have anything that sticks out where it's just like, man, I remember when he did. There's just a bunch of stuff that you remember that are good things and bad things, but like nothing that's just like, they did that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. My memory is not there right now. I guess I can't think of. I would love to have a certain situation, but I don't have one.
What's funny is, like you said, like you could, based on any conversation we have at any given moment, we can be like, oh, remember whatever, fill in the blank thing.
Yeah,
and it's like,
to be honest, it was probably in the Astro van, going somewhere, singing to the radio, just enjoying ourselves. Probably something to that extent. Like, have there been times I've been happier for him? Tons. I just times when I see him actually have a good time where I'm like, yay, yay, yo, good. But my fondest memory, like, I don't know, it's just the time where we're just being a father and a son, and it's just how it was. Yeah.
Let me see, my fondest memory. I don't. Yeah, I guess my fondest, like I said, there's lots of moments that are great that you just can't pick one. But one just came to mind. Do you remember when we went to see that movie Tap with Gregory Hines,
Yes.
and we came home
Yes.
and put on our church shoes.
Yeah.
And just made all kinds of noise.
All the noise in the house, yes. Yeah.
Mom was not so entertained. We left those little scuff marks all over.
The tile. Oh, man, I remember now the tile was bad. It was up and down the hallway, in the family room. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
oh, my God.
I remember now.
Dad had a ball.
At the time of his life.
He had a ball.
And I can't say it now because so many people would not want me to say it. But watching The Cosby Show with my father was some of the best times I've ever had with my father.
I don't care if people like it or love it or hate it or whatever.
But like watching Heathcliff Huxtable and the Huxtables with my family, with my mother, my father, and my sister.
We tried to be the Huxtables.
You can't take that from me.
Nope.
You can't take that from me. Like that was some of the best times of us just interacting together. Just The Cosby Show, A Different World.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, that was us. That was our house.
That was our Thursday night.
We would literally just sit down and that'd be it. And we would joke and we would learn and we would talk and it would be good. The drive, even though I didn't love them, the drives to South Carolina, they would be good. Yeah. Like that was the time where we can just be. And those were all the good times. Those were good times.
But here's the thing.
Like our mother, but anyway. Like, okay, you want to talk about a fond memory with Dad? The challenge episode.
Challenge.
That's great. That's great. And it's like he kept it up and he loved it and that was dope.
And to this day, if we walk in the house and say, "Dad, challenge," he would burst into uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man.
It was fun. It was fun.
Like, and like the times he was happiest was when we would do something silly, and he would just love it, just eat it up. Even when we would annoy them with like Disney songs and everything.
Oh, we would sing the entire movie. We'd be on a road trip. We didn't put the soundtrack in the tape deck. Yes, I said tape deck. We didn't put the soundtrack in, which we did own, but we would just off memory sing every song, quote every line. We did Beauty and the Beast. We did Lion King. I don't remember if we did Little Mermaid, but probably.
Yeah. Because it started. Little Mermaid was the first one. Little Mermaid was the first one.
Okay.
And then it was Beauty and the Beast, and then it was Aladdin, and then it was Lion King. And boy,
his favorite to this day is Lion King.
Yeah.
She's gonna eat me. He loves it. We still do it. We still do it. Oh man. Okay. There was another question, but
I mean, it's all good. Like, it's different now because I guess we talk more like two adult men talking to each other, rather than father son.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent, and I guess that's where we've kind of gotten to a good place where we just talk to each other like two adult men. Some interests are the same, some interests aren't, and that works. It works for us.
It is what it is.
It works for us.
It is what it is. All right. Well, I can't think of anything else to talk about right now. So like you said, we could just keep going. Can you think of anything for me? And if not, we'll just cut it off here. Any questions you ever wanted to ask me about my relationship with Dad?
How did you survive?
What do you mean?
It's okay. This would have to be a whole thing because we'd have to have a conversation about ourselves. Like, honestly, I don't know how many conversations we've had about, like, what we thought of each other thoroughly, all the way through life. Oh,
we should have an episode about that. Let's Google when is Day.
Because for a long time, I was like, she's the goody two-shoes out here. But I knew you weren't. but I knew you weren't. But they didn't know. And it was so frustrating because everybody was looking at me like, why are you doing this? I was like, yo, she's doing the same things.
Yeah.
Y'all just don't see it. I just don't hide it. I just don't hide it.
That was the thing. I hid things very well. Well, no, I take that back. I'm not going to say I hid things very well. I did a pretty good job, and Jeremy knew when to pull my coattail. Be like, hey, I might not be able to save you from this. So you might want to pull it back.
And just from what I know of life, is that when people get that one idea of you, and then you hit them with the stark reality or truth of it, they don't know how to respond, you know?
Mm-mm.
So, like, for me, it's like that period when they had to really see that Cinnamon wasn't
perfect,
wasn't that picture that they had put up on the mantle.
But then I had to deal with that. But see, I had to deal with that then because I never told anyone I was perfect. I just never let you see otherwise. You did, whoever it was, and it wasn't just our parents. It was other extended family members that, for whatever reason, decided that I was an angel. Okay. You said it. I didn't say it. You said it. So let's roll with that. And Dad had even said at one point, he was like, my son is not a good liar. And in my head, I was like, that's not true.
It's not true. It's not true.
In my head, because Dad always felt like I was a better liar than you were. He felt, he would look at me with pride in my lies because
you had to find, the people would find out later.
The actual difference was, we're both good. We're both good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Jeremy didn't care.
I don't care.
I cared so much that I would go through lengths to cover my tracks in ways that if I were to run back some stories on how I didn't get caught with certain things and how Jeremy got caught was doing the exact thing that I did, and I know he did it because he watched me do it. That's how he got the idea, because I did it. But no one knows that I did it.
Yeah. I mean, and that was always a thing for me and you. I was like, being behind you. It was like, yo, I'm not worse than her. I just don't try to, like, I know the ideas y'all have of me. They're just gonna fall apart because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Cinnamon would sit there and be like, yo, you want this picture of me? I'm going to give you this picture of me. You don't have to see the rest.
Yeah.
Me, I'd be like, oh, you got that picture of me? That's not the right picture, fam. So it was just like, for me, as I was like, and I knew it. I knew it the whole time. I was like, Cinnamon's not what this picture, that picture isn't the whole picture. Like, they're just only seeing a part. And when it all came, and it came crashing
It came
down.
all one time.
When it all came crashing down, I seriously was like, I don't know how Cinnamon's going to deal with this one.
Yeah.
Because they've been dealing with this for me since 5th grade. Since 5th grade, I've just been like, I don't care. And, like, Cinnamon has been like, I'm gonna play the game. I'll play the game. And I was like, that game sounds stupid to me. And so when the music stopped, I was like, oh, what's about to happen?
But even then, you were still behind me. You still had my back. You were like, man, this is gonna be ugly, but
yeah, I mean, like, okay, well, didn't always like you. You know that.
Yeah, we didn't like each other.
We didn't always like each other. But I am extremely protective of my family, even against my other family. And I'm also extremely protective of people being themselves. I think everybody should be themselves, like thoroughly just be you. the people who have a problem with you being you are not the people you want around you, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were honestly, fully, all the way out there being you, I wasn't gonna ever be like, that's not good. I was just gonna be like, yo, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. And when I say they, I mean all of them. None of them are ready for this.
Everyone.
They were ready for this from me because there never was another way. They're not ready for this from you, so it's going to be hard. Like, I remember saying, this is going to be crazy. You sure you want to do that? I remember I said that one time. You sure you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And you said yes. I was like, well, let's go. Let's do it then. Because it's going to be crazy, but, yo, I want you to be happy being you. I don't want you out here faking it because I know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, dealing with Dad, man, like,
yeah.
I've never been as connected to my parents as you are to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the whole firstborn thing of me just being weird.
I don't know.
But, I've just never been as connected to them. So, like, my question would always be, like, how did you... They had that image. And that image was never always it, but it was the image they were comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pull away from the image people are comfortable with and just be like, nah, nigga.
Well,
me.
Here's the
all
thing.
This.
Here's the thing. You can I can't answer that. I can't answer how to pull away from what people think you should be doing and whatever, because I didn't do that. It just came crashing down for me. So I can't answer that. As far as the rebuilding of, okay, so that's who you thought she was, because, no fault of your own, I made it easy for you to think that's who I was. But it's like, okay, so who are you for real? And then I couldn't answer that because I didn't know, because I spent so much time being who I thought other people wanted me to be, or said I was supposed to be, and all that other stuff. So when it became like, and that's probably along the time when me and Mom broke down, because it was like, she was like, well, who the heck are you? And I'm like, I don't know, but you still got to love me because I'm your child.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, during that time, and I don't know why, and that's probably a conversation I should have with him, if he even noticed, because there are some times where I thought Dad didn't notice certain things. I don't know. I never had the conversation with him. But during that time, I clung to Dad. I clung to Daddy when me and Mom weren't talking, like in a probably codependent type of way. Like, he would sit down and watch hours of Discovery Channel. There was not a single thing on Discovery Channel that interested me. I mean, nothing. Nothing. There wasn't an interesting commercial that would come on between shows. It was terrible. But guess who sat there curled up under Daddy, watching hours of Discovery Channel?
I don't know, like,
because it was just like, he's not rubbing. He's probably hating every moment of me not being this perfect angel, but he's not bringing it up every 5 minutes.
And I guess that's the difference between you and I in our relationship with Dad. And I guess that's, the father-son, father-daughter relationship. I don't know. Don't got him. Don't want him. But, like, he always constantly tried to direct me. Like, you got to go here, you got to do this, you got to do that. I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. Like, none of that appeals to me. None of that. And so, I think a lot of that just like, I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear how I'm not good, how I'm messing up. I know. No one knows more than I do. But I'm doing what I feel I got to do right now. And I know it may not end up perfect, and I won't drag you down with me. but I got to do this.
I think one of the biggest differences between you and Dad, regardless of the differences in your personalities, was that, in my opinion, in my therapist's opinion, people raise their children either exactly the way they were raised or total opposite of the way they were raised, or at least they try to go exactly or try to go total opposite. Dad idolized Granddaddy so much, and Granddaddy was his hero, and he did everything Granddaddy, like if Granddaddy told him to go out, I brought home this car from the junkyard, we're going to go out here and paint it and fix it up and whatever. He was right there. Granddaddy said, pick up this wrench and do that. He picked up that wrench and did exactly that. It was like he was just a sponge soaking everything up. And I'm not going to say he never formed his own opinions aside from Granddaddy, because that's not true. Granddaddy went to church, Daddy did not. So that's not totally true. But it was just, whatever my dad did, his sons were there doing with him. We just did what he said. So he's like, and when it came time for him to raise a son, he's like, okay, here we go. We're going to press, raising 2.0. And it's just going to be the exact same way that I grew up. And then here comes, you birth this person with, like, nah, that ain't the way I want. No. No. And same for Mom. I told the story in that podcast episode about Mom, when she's like, oh, she's my little girl, and I'm going to dress her in pink, and then here I come like, yeah, no, I don't like pink. She's like, well, what? Then what? Hey, wait, I had this all planned out. Yeah. And here you go, bucking against the plan, and I don't have a plan B. So I think the same thing happened for Dad, that he put it in his mind, and this is the way it's going to go. And when it didn't go that way, it was, hold up, what's wrong with you? Because it's not going the way that I had in my head. And it's not just with you. He would do that with anybody. I hate to say it's the fondest, but I find this memory hilarious. It is a very fond memory of our father kicking one of his sisters out of our house. Wonderful moment. Such a moment. Wow. I am transported there. I am there right now, standing in the kitchen.
I understand how it's fond, because one thing I do admire about my father is his like, yo, no, it's not about to go down like that.
Not in my house.
No, yo, I don't care who you are, what you want, or it's not going down like that. Leave my house.
Yeah. That's basically how when he was like, okay, he gave her a warning.
You could be the president. You could be the Queen of England. You could be Jesus Christ reincarnate himself. When it's time to go, you best to get the moving, fam. So, I can understand how it's still a fond memory.
I'm sorry. It was a very eye-opening moment where I was like, wow, he has no respect for person. It doesn't matter who you are. Lesson learned. In that moment, I remember standing there with my mouth open like, this is really happening. And he said, and you're not welcome to return. And guess what?
She's never been back.
Oh! Well, I mean, they sold the house and moved.
But she was never going back. She was never going back until things happened in a certain way. That wasn't an option.
And it was a whole different house.
Yeah.
In a whole different state. So I think he was probably like, all right, let's see how that goes. Guess what?
Didn't go well. And that's, I don't know, that's a whole other thing. Like,
that's another story.
He has that relationship with his siblings that I don't have with my siblings. And I'm thankful for that, at least.
Yeah, nah.
Because if I had to be if visiting with my sibling was as painful as it seems for him, Oh man, I wouldn't want to do it either. It doesn't seem like it's a good time ever. Ever. Like not once. Not once. And so I wouldn't want to do it either. Like I have the best time with what I be with my sister, so I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. And so yeah, but I'm glad I don't have that part of it. I'm glad I don't have that. I would love for my family to be connected in a very tight way, but I don't want to see them together ever.
Jeremy,
Ever.
I don't think you're alone there.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth it for if you are in a situation with another human being, adult, y'all can't just do some adult shit together and be all right. Yo, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
And they're your family.
Listen, that cruise we took,
that
was fun. Well, with us. You and I. I was just talking about us. You and me. That's it. That's as far
it was
as I was
great
going.
for you and I. I even got along with my cousins, which doesn't very much happen.
Well, we don't see each other. We don't communicate.
Cinnamon Key.
Yes.
Do you think I like my cousins?
I didn't say that. I said we don't even speak.
I
don't think we have a chance.
I reach out to people I like. Seriously, honestly, I reach out to people I like. We're in the same family. I live in the same state as y'all.
I just can't say whether I do or don't like them or would or wouldn't. I never got to know you in any type of way, so
I didn't like you from the jump, and I'm like my father like that. I didn't like you from the jump. Early on, I was like, I don't like you. That's it. I don't like you now. That's it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But like first impression, I don't like you means I don't like you forever. It really is like that. He drove that, and you're like, yo, if you don't like somebody, you ain't gotta like them. You don't have to like them, and it's perfectly fine.
That's a good point. Dad always encouraged us to be individuals, even in the midst of him wanting us to just do what he said. Like, I want you to do what I say, but do what you like. Okay, wait. Sometimes those are not the same.
He was always like, yo, if you don't like somebody, you don't like them. You don't have to like anybody, and you don't have to act like you like somebody. If you don't like them, you don't fucking like them. Excuse me. You don't like them.
I told somebody sometime, I was like, I see this in a lot of black households where if siblings don't get along, you make them get along. Like, you go over there and you hug your sister and y'all gonna be friends. That we didn't have to deal with that. Like, look, y'all are related. Doesn't mean you have to like each other. But you do need to know how to be in the same space at the same time, because we do all live here. So
yeah.
You gotta
be able to, deal with each other.
Right.
But you ain't gotta like them. You ain't gotta like them one bit.
Yeah, you have your room. I had my room. We shared a bathroom. Whether we liked each other or not, you had to figure out how to share that bathroom, because that's the only bathroom you're using.
Make it work. But if you don't like them, you don't like them. That's just real. And I do appreciate that. Like, now that we're talking about it, he did always be like, you don't have to like somebody. That's not a mandatory thing. If you don't like somebody, don't like them.
That's it.
Just be professional when you have to. Be courteous when you have to, but no, you ain't gotta like them.
Yeah. That's true.
This is something he did teach me, but I mean, just I don't know. I don't know how you felt about it, but I always felt I was like the on the edge of the family, kind of looking in from a distant place, kind of almost. And so, because I don't, a lot of things, a lot of things, even, okay, you and Mom have a certain relationship you've gotten to, but even some things you believe, y'all kind of always believe together. And, some people say, oh, well, your dad's not, doesn't believe in God per se, and you don't. I'm like, yeah, but we still believe viciously different things about even in religion and in spirituality and things. Like, we're still on full opposite sides of the coin. So I've always had like different ideas and different ways of doing things. And then I was unapologetically myself. Like I was going to be Jeremy. Like it was just going to be painful. It was just going to have to be painful for everybody because I didn't feel I should change.
Mhm.
So I've always felt like, they looked at me a certain way. I just felt that. I just felt like, they're like, oh yeah, you're smart, you're bright, you're everything, but you just what are you doing? Like that, like that. So I don't know. That was always something I thought. I didn't I never got the relationship you had with them young.
Mhm.
To then have the relationship you have with them older. I've always had a different relationship from a young age. I've always felt like I've been doing something they didn't approve of from a very young age. Something like that. Whatever they didn't approve of, and it wasn't just to do it because they didn't approve of it. It's what I thought was good, right. It's what I thought was right. I thought about it. I took in all the information. I made a decision that I believed in, and I would do something. And somebody was like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Huh? This is right. This is right. I know, like, this is right." So I've always had a different relationship with mom and dad than you have. Even when you, mom, were going through your things, and when everything came crashing down between you and the both of them, I still felt like, yeah, but someone's still in a different place than I am with them. I don't know how to talk about anything with my parents at some points. Some points, like, they were like, we just want to talk. I'm like, I just don't want to talk. We're going to get started, and this is going to go left. I want y'all to love me still. Like when we both tell them, well, you're not getting grandkids.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hurting them so badly, but I've decided I don't want kids.
But let me tell you, I felt easier accepted from you than it was from me.
But I don't think anybody believes me to this day.
Really?
I don't think anybody believes me. I don't think anybody believes me whatsoever.
Who doesn't believe you? Tell them to call me.
I don't. Cinnamon. You block. You cut off your phone. You cut off your.
Wow.
Every single person I ever tell, I don't want kids. They're like, that's just right. No. I've sat down and I've thought about. I've really processed what it is to have children. I don't. Well, more than me not liking children, which is a real thing. That's a responsibility that I understand the weight of. And I'm not going to sigh. I'm not going to make it smaller than it is. That's the responsibility of a lifetime. And if I turned this camera around and you saw the rest of my apartment, I'm supposed to raise a kid. But I can't keep my space clean some days. What you talking about? I can't raise a dog. What you talking about, yo? What you talking about, yo? So, for me, I love my parents to death. I love my father to death. Like, I don't know what that day is going to feel like, but please let it never happen. Please let it never happen, yo. Like, please, if there's, I know, but I don't want it ever. And so, it is what it is. Like, I just embrace what we do have, even with our differences, even when we don't talk about, even when we do talk about, whatever it is, even where we are, even when I'm like, yo, if you don't stop saying that to me, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, whatever it is, I wouldn't want a day without them. I know a lot of people might find that hard to believe, or because of how little I talk to my parents, how little I talk to anyone. But all the people who I care about, I wouldn't want a day without them, and my parents are number 1 and 2 on that list. Number 1 and number 2 on that list. Like, they wouldn't. I don't want to see a single day without them.
Right.
Even with every little bit of thing we've ever had and all the disagreements we still have, the things we don't see eye to eye on, I just can't imagine a world without Wallace and Betty Key. I can not, and I don't want to, honestly. Yeah. And so, my relationship is perfect. My father isn't perfect, but in that he's perfect. You know, he's not perfect at all. He's not everybody's cup of tea. He's not everybody's cup of Joe. He's not everybody's cup. You know, like, you're not going to put in what you wanted to him. He's him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still dope. It's still dope. That's all, like, it's just still dope. Like, yeah, all the things he says are just so old. You're so old. Like, okay, I'll tell you something about my father.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something about my father that I see in myself that I hate. I'm washed. I'm so washed up, it's hilarious. I'm washed, bro. I am washed. I'm 34 and completely washed. I am out the washing machine. You got me in the dryer. I am tumbling away. It's over for me. Wow. My dad has been washed my entire life, and he loves it. And I'm just not like, yo, I don't need to be in the now. Yeah, I'm washed. Yeah. No, I'm washed. Like, everything that happens now, I'm like, this is stupid. Yep. I'm good with it. Like, yo, something happens, I'm like, who cares? Who cares? That's stupid. I'm washed. And I get it from him, and he's so comfortable in it. I'm comfortable in it now, too. Like, so comfortable. Like, I used to be like, I used to not want to be the old dude, but like, I don't understand this music. Now I'm like, this music is trash, and I want to tell everybody. And, you know, like, I was listening to my Google Play Music. I was listening to like a playlist I made back in like 2008. It's so good. It's so good. And I turned on the radio. Like, the radio comes on when I get in my car before I plug up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
You call this music?
I literally been like, I don't want to be the hating old get off my lawn old man. That shit trash, yo. But so like, yeah, his washness has just right down to me, and I'm like, washed is all right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's old and he knows he's old. He loves being old, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of like being older.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like knowing what I like and what I don't like, and being able to say, yo, I don't like any of that. And it comes from him just showing me forever to like, yo, I don't like this new stuff, and I don't have to. I don't have to try to get. I don't
like it, who you are.
I don't have to try to assimilate to what y'all got going on right now. I don't like it. Moving on.
He's him.
Yeah, he's him. And yeah, even in the ways I hate it, he's him. And you have to respect that he is who he is through and through. Like, all the way through and through. There's no faking with that man. No faking. There's no faking with it. There's no lies. No fuzziness. That's who he is. That's just the way it is. And you kind of got to either get with it or keep moving. And if there's nothing else with who I am right now, yep, I inherited that, and I am running with that. I am who I am, and if you don't like it, keep it moving. And it comes directly from him. That comes directly from being under him, hating that about him, and then embracing it.
I hope that you enjoyed this 2-part episode that my brother and I just had this wonderful conversation about our dad. We love him so much. So I hope you enjoyed it. Keep loving on your dads. Just because Father's Day rolls around once a year doesn't mean we can't love on our dads year round. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Resilience Rising with Naturally Cinnamon. Life has a way of tossing unexpected trials and circumstances our way. We can't stop them, but we can better handle them by raising our resilience. Remember, you can find us at ResilienceRisingPodcast.com, on Instagram at Resilience Rising Podcast, and you can also send in a question or topic for this podcast by emailing us at ResilienceRisingPodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like this podcast, love it, share it, rate it, and comment, but most important, make sure that you've subscribed and that you're following. I'm Naturally Cinnamon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Creative Director Jeremy Key for J Key Collective. Music by AJ Miles.